Hey guys, welcome back to Deeper Than Most. I'm your host, Sav.
And I'm your host, DJ.
And we are back with episode 46 today.
46 episodes, which means you have 45 other episodes to check out. If you ain't checking them out.
Yes. And our short stuff bonus episodes. And today we are going to be talking about the Qingtao True Way cult. And we said we were going to be bringing back cults, so here we are. We're doing that.
Cult classic.
Yes, exactly. And also, I know we haven't said anything about Christmas or like our last episode of the year, but we do have something fun and interesting planned for our last episode. But that's all you're getting. We're not spoiling it this time. You're just gonna have to tune in and see.
Watch the episodes, guys.
Or listen.
Also,
but it is more fun when you watch.
Definitely. Make sure that you're leaving us ratings and reviews. They really help us out a lot.
Yes, on whatever platform you listen to us on, but Apple really helps. Apple Podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Spotify helps too, but I think Apple Podcasts is like kind of what helps us move up in the charts, so that way we can grow our audience and have better discussions, because I feel like more people need to hear what we gotta say.
For sure.
And that's just that. But today we do have Dose of the Most, and we have 2 segments for that. So let's get into them.
Our first one is AI ruining your life? No. So we came across Ameca, which is one of the newest AI developments that is a humanoid.
Yes, there's another robot out. Okay, guys. They just keep pumping them out.
They just keep coming.
And this is the newest one. But this one is pretty unique, I would say.
Yeah, I would say so too. It's pretty cool. Like watching that little video about it was nice. Mm-hmm. This AI is able to wake up with expressions just like ours.
Yeah. And we watched the video, like he said. It was like a news clip. Mm-hmm. And it showed the AI waking up, and it literally like wakes
Jolted,
up. Like it's like, huh.
It's
well,
crazy.
where am I? You know? So that was weird. It was creepy. But it was kind of cool.
The robot was developed by Engineered Arts Ltd. And has gone viral recently. Which, I mean...
I haven't seen the virality of it. Is that like how you would call viral?
I don't know.
I'm making it up.
I'm just a podcast.
So. I don't think... like, I've really seen the virality of it, because I haven't seen anybody post or talk about this or anything.
No, I haven't seen it. But it's cool that it's out there.
Yeah, so, Deeper Than Most, we're here to do it.
For sure. They created Ameca with highly expressive features to make the interaction between humans and Ameca seem more normal. As humans, we take a lot from nonverbal communication, such as tone or expression.
Yeah.
Which is very true. So the fact that they've tried to
that,
replicate or mimic, that is interesting.
It is, but it's also impressive. Because the fact that they're able to do it just for fun, that's all this is. It's literally just for fun. It is pretty spectacular, because that really means that we are improving and we are, continuing to evolve, I guess you could say.
Right.
Things are just always changing, but it's necessary. Definitely necessary.
I can agree, yeah. Ameca is gender and race neutral, which means, she can be, or they can be pretty ambiguous. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, literally, racially and gender ambiguous. It's just what it is.
Not gonna cap though. That was a scary looking robot. Like,
it was kind of creepy looking. It's pretty wild. It's really just out there. Like, I don't know. It's just so interesting to me, because like 10 years ago, was this possible? Was this even, thought of? Or 20 years ago, whatever.
Right.
Like, it's crazy. When we were born, they were not thinking about this.
At all.
Or maybe they were, but they didn't know how to execute it.
Right. You never know the long run plans, but here we are.
Yeah.
Ameca goes for the high price of $133,000. And they can also be rented for events. I don't know what events.
Yeah, I don't know what you would need it for. But yeah, you can rent them or buy them. So if you got the money to blow,
man, do your thing. Get you an Ameca, bro. Just show your friends, be like, hey,
just to flex, just to
robot,
say I got a robot.
Right.
Come open it out the package and shit. That'd be fun to put together and stuff. It's like furniture.
If it ain't already put together.
Right. What if it just like comes out and it starts to like just transform itself and all the pieces just start to create.
Shit. With the company spending $2.6 million to develop the humanoids, they have been ranked as one of the closest comparisons to humans and the way we move and express ourselves. For now, these robots are entertainment, but there is hope that the future will allow AI to have various roles.
Yeah. So that's the goal, that's what they want. Right. In the news clip, this woman, I forgot her name, but she has a PhD, so she's legit. This woman, she was saying how with Ameca, for example, like this type of humanoid would be great to have, quote unquote great, because I don't know. But in her opinion, it would be great to have these at, bus stops or airports or or in the mall, like places that are super public, so that way people have the access to talk to somebody whenever they need to. Mm-hmm. If you're feeling some type of way and you're just waiting at the airport, you can go and talk to this, and it would be more of like a kiosk type of situation, which I find kind of weird, but I don't know. If that's like the future, then that's the future, and they're even talking about replacing therapists with humanoid.
Which, in my personal opinion, I don't think that's a good idea, but hey, robots, I'm not the one designing the robot.
Exactly. Neither one of us. Okay? We're just podcast hosts. We don't know shit. So, the next topic is Bye Bye Frosty, and I thought this was just really funny. Every once in a while, we like to talk about just weird shit that's happening in Portland, where we live, because wow, a lot of weird shit happens in Portland, and we had no clue. Man, we did so much research before we moved out here.
Or at least we thought we did.
Yeah, about Portland, about Oregon itself, and the people and the culture, just everything. And we did so much research. And then, like, when we got out here, I feel like all the shit we learned just went out the window because none of it applies. Like, it is nothing like what we researched. At all. It's super interesting though. I love it because it's like, okay, you can do all your research, but nothing's gonna beat the experience. Then you still never know. Nothing's gonna beat the experience. Yeah. I think that's very fair to say because, woo, man, have we seen some things. Yeah. So we like to, weird for sure. Just weird bring that to your guys' attention sometimes because y'all just gotta know what we go through. Okay? So, over the past week here in Portland, people have been in the holiday spirit. Some more than others. A woman was seen on home surveillance stealing a Christmas yard decoration.
For what? I don't know.
Right. The family claimed the woman had been to their house about 2 nights in a row before taking off with the decor. Hey, I got bars. Let me chill out.
So she out here just
scoping the place out. Hell yeah. Like a thief in the night. I'd take anything but some... Okay. The last time she visited, she tripped over a cord in the yard and was spooked by the Frosty the Snowman figure falling over. So she really, scared herself away, pretty much. But later, she returned to take Frosty the Snowman. Literally came back just to steal him.
She was like, oh, this would look nice wherever I'm at.
Right. And the family is now concerned that their other decorations could be at risk too. The news media has been calling the woman the Grinch, and they interviewed the man that lived in the house with his family, and he was saying how the Frosty the Snowman decoration, it's one of those big ones, but it's not the inflatable. It's the plastic,
the figurine
figures, yeah. And he had it zip tied down to the ground or whatever, secure, so that way it didn't fly away. Well, this lady when she came back, she brought scissors to cut the...
She said, yo, I'm finna get this by any means.
Exactly. So, yeah. So she knew. She was definitely lurking.
Hide your decorations.
I swear. So, yeah, that's what we have going on out here in Portland and just going on in the world this week. People, the Grinch is out here, so be safe. Hide your things. And AI is on the rise.
Again, still.
For you. And The Matrix is coming out on the 22nd, and I'm really excited. I really want to see it.
I can't wait.
We might just give our thoughts on it afterwards. I don't know. That'd be fun to do a movie review on.
We will.
Yeah.
We definitely will.
Yeah.
Definitely going to do it.
I really want to tell them what we're doing for our last episode of the year.
See, this is why.
And for our first episode of next year, but we're not.
Let's get into the show, everybody. So we're going to get into a little bit of background knowledge about Qin and about Chen.
And crazy enough, I didn't know that the Qin cult was based off of, like, Qin. Like, I didn't know it was an actual person. Yeah. I thought they just came up with the name Qin. But the story behind how they created the name it makes sense.
For sure. Qin was a UFO religion that was originated in Taiwan. It was founded by Ming Chen, and he was born in 1955. Oh damn, I thought you were going to say something.
I was. I didn't know that they had UFO, like, religions in Taiwan. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting to see. But, I mean, I guess, shit, we can't be the only motherfuckers.
And especially back during this time, though.
Yeah.
Like, this was before the 2000s.
Yeah. Well, I mean, motherfuckers were a little fucking weird before that. Anyway, when Qin was introduced, the group was immediately associated with UFOs because Ming Chen had misrepresented the group.
Damn. How you fail, right out the gate?
How did you... I wonder how that happened, though. Like, how did he...
Oh, we'll get into it.
Qin was widely known as a New Age UFO cult. So that was just a little brief overview of what the Qin cult is and a little bit of knowledge about it. And now we're going to talk about Qin himself.
So Qin was a former professor. He claimed to be an atheist, but shortly after claiming atheist, he joined a religious cult that was taught by a man known by Yu Xia. After a while, he broke away from the cult, and this separation from the cult actually happened in 1993. So he was about, 30-something almost?
Yeah.
No, 40.
Roughly 40-ish.
What's 93 minus 55?
93 minus 55, he's like...
So yeah, this separation happened in 1939, which would have made Qin around almost 40 years old. He was with a fellow cultivator. Whoa, hold on. So he didn't separate from the group by himself. There was actually another man who was in the same group that Qin was in. Mm-hmm. And with this fellow cultivator, which is what they call, people that are in cults, and I didn't know that, a cultivator.
I fuck with it.
It makes sense, though.
I fuck with it.
But when I think cultivator, I'm thinking of, plants, agriculture. Yeah. So, just a fun fact, if you guys don't know, somebody that is in a cult or was in a cult could be called a cultivator. I don't know if there's any other, words for it.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like if they, I don't know.
I mean, I've heard followers,
besides from that, I've never really heard cultivator. But
yeah.
I'll take it.
So this fellow cultivator was Tao Hung Ma. Tao Hung Ma. I thought the H was silent.
I mean, not in this one, but in the other one.
So Tao Hung Ma, the two men formed their own group. After finding freedom from Yu Xia and the occult, Chen Tao and the group traveled to the U.S. So right there, that kind of tells you where the name came from. Chen and Tao. Chen Tao.
Sweet.
Yeah. Very simple. So while in the U.S., Chen was introduced to new ideas and thought processes that include pseudoscience.
Pseudoscience is interesting because there are a lot of things now that can be considered pseudoscience. Mm-hmm. But
it's evolved.
Yeah,
a lot
it's definitely evolved a lot over time. So the fact that this is part of it,
way bigger than what it was when it originated. I feel it's kind of like you can kind of compare the growth of pseudoscience to Scientology. Scientology like blew up out of nowhere too. So
yeah, and that was because of a whole different reason. But that's another story for another time.
So the second theory was cosmology, and we love cosmology over here because that's talking all about aliens and UFOs and all that cool stuff in space.
I mean, hey, it's the best part of our show.
It is, yeah. The third theory was flying saucers. Once again,
I mean,
aliens.
Come on now, do you see our logo? Are you confused? Because I'm not.
Logo? We got aliens on our logo?
We got a saucer on that bit.
No, we don't.
We don't? That's not. Oh, damn, that was the other one.
Oh, you're talking about the old... Oh, I know what you're talking about. Like our little backup. Yeah, that's not our official logo.
It wasn't.
But we could still use it for merch.
Yeah.
And the last one is Christian motifs. And, I mean... I don't really have too much to say about that. So once he learned the Christian way, he seemed to enjoy it and got pretty deep into it. His cult with Tao, Chen Tao,
you did not have to. You did not have to do that.
Let me say it again. In his cult with Tao, Chen Tao, he began to include nuances of the prophecy, Great Tribulation, and more. So, very quickly, once they reached the U.S., it almost seemed like things just started to snowball effect after. He started learning these new theories, introducing them to his group and to Tao, and really just, I don't know, learning as he's going, honestly, because I really don't think he grasped like a full understanding of these philosophies, but I think he liked the idea of these philosophies and was like,
picked
you know
up
what?
certain things and was like, hey.
Yeah, I'm gonna sprinkle this knowledge on my people.
With that, we're gonna get into the True Way. Before claiming True Way cult, the group was originally registered as the Chinese Soul Light Research Association.
Ain't that a mouthful?
That is a lot.
I'd be pissed off.
That's a lot.
Well, yeah, you in a cult, man? What cult are you in? The Chinese Soul Light Research Association cult. Like, damn.
That shit crazy.
That's a whole mouthful. So, yeah, True Way cult definitely is more... We're going the true way. You feel me?
Yeah.
Let me chill out.
The way. You know the way? When the group moved to the U.S., it registered as God's Salvation Church and planted their roots in San Dimas, California, but eventually relocated to Garland, Texas in 1997.
Now, I just want to stop on that God's Salvation Church because that sounds so familiar. Like, when I was younger, I did attend church, and we would church hop. So, like, every week or every couple of weeks, we would be at a new church.
Just trying to find, like, a spiritual home, I guess, yeah?
Yeah, pretty much, but we never did.
Right.
We would just go... I mean, we would go back to certain ones sometimes, but for the most part, it was, like, a new church every week.
Okay.
Which was very interesting. I don't know why we did it like that. I'm going to have to ask Grandma.
No, literally.
Because it was with Grandma.
Oh, damn. Like, I don't know. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like Grandma... I don't know. Grandma?
I don't know.
Is she... No, she's not.
What?
Is she Christian? Like,
I don't know. She's more spiritual, I think.
See?
But the point I'm trying to make is, it just sounds familiar. I feel like I've seen a God's Salvation Church before.
You probably have. Being in the South, you probably have seen a lot of them. Like, they all...
That, too. That's where I'm thinking I saw it. Like, was it in Kentucky or Georgia or Texas? Somewhere in the South. But I almost feel like even in Washington... I saw something like this. I don't know.
Good hat.
Like, just the name sounds familiar.
With True Way being considered a new religious movement, it was full of ideas and viewpoints, taking inspiration from a mix of Buddhism, Taoism, and ufology, which are all...
It's a beautiful mix, though.
Yeah, isn't it?
It's pretty interesting. Amazing. Do you know what Taoism is?
Taoism is literally the way. Like, it's a religion of the way.
Of life? Like the way of life? What's the way?
The way of, in terms of like being a better person and like... Oh. Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like morals. It's more of a moral religion as opposed to just... Yeah.
That's cool. See, and like from what I've gathered with the information from this cult is it didn't seem like it was a nefarious type of cult, like a lot, like what we normally see, you know, what you normally see is the Manson family,
bad
or
intentions hidden by,
yeah, pretty much. But like with True Way, it really just seemed like a new way to think about life and to think about things. And I don't know, it didn't seem as sinister as a lot of these other cults, but then again, we weren't in the cult, so we don't know the ins and outs, you know, like somebody would.
And it
that was
very,
a part of it.
It's a very interesting mix, because with Taoism and Buddhism both being like Chinese religions, it has its morals and its, you know. So.
And that's what I'm saying. And then ufology, I feel like that doesn't hurt anybody.
No,
I mean, it's literally just a belief system. So, yeah, you just take with it what you will. And getting into beliefs, the cult had an emphasis on spiritual energy. The group was also very focused on transmigration of souls, and they pretty much believed that there were 3 souls per person. Kind of like the Holy Trinity.
I can get behind that.
Yeah. Or like extra lives.
I can get behind
Or reincarnation.
I can definitely
There's a lot of things you can interpret from that.
For sure.
So group members also believed in outside souls, and the souls acted as bad influences or demons in the human realm. So that was kind of their explanation for good and the bad, pretty much.
Good and evil.
Yeah.
Yin and yang.
Exactly.
Sweet.
So Chen believed that Earth went through 5 tribulations, starting with the dinosaurs. And if that's the case, the dinosaurs was the only one. So that means we're next. Each tribulation has survivors living in America because they were rescued by God in a UFO.
All right. So.
Let me drink my water.
Let's just talk about that for a second. How do you feel about that?
About the tribulation, starting with the dinosaurs, or about God rescuing people?
Forget the dinosaurs.
And a UFO.
Right? Forget the dinosaurs right now. God coming down in a UFO rescuing people. I mean...
So, to me, it's really just... I don't know, it doesn't make sense. Like, I don't equate God and aliens to being... equal or like one and the same. Okay, but also I feel like having one, you probably can't have the other, if that makes sense.
So one can't exist without the other one?
No. What I'm saying is, for example, if we're saying God exists, maybe it's possible aliens do still exist. But in the Bible, does it say anything about him creating everything else and life on other planets? No, it says life on our planet.
Right.
So I don't know. Like, you know? But if we're thinking of aliens being the ones that are real and that are alive, I feel like, kind of like in the simulation theory where we were saying that aliens could be the ones that control the simulation, or aliens could be our greater God and we just don't know. So I don't know.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one because, like, honestly, in my, like, from the way that I'm looking at it, I don't know. It's up in smoke to me. I don't know nothing. I'm just a podcast host. But if I had to say anything about it, I'd say I could see it. Like, fuck it.
You could see God
I could see
coming in on a UFO?
Yeah.
But I feel like God wouldn't need a UFO.
I mean, he don't. But what if he just
unless
wants
God
to?
was an alien, is what I'm saying, though.
He don't need
Why
it.
would God need a UFO unless he was an alien?
He don't need it. But what if he just want to ride it that day?
What if he don't, though?
But what if he
Does it
he
make
honestly-
sense? Does it make sense to you? Let us know.
Let us
because
know.
I feel like
right
if we're speaking in terms of survivors being rescued by God himself, he would just come down and do it.
Yeah.
If we're talking about these survivors being rescued by something or somebody in a UFO, aliens are the ones that did it.
Yeah, no, all jokes aside though, if yeah.
And aliens could be God and God could be an alien.
I feel that because I think about it like this. God's the supreme being, aliens are like the messengers, and then it's us.
But
so
what if there is no God and the aliens are the supreme being?
All right, let's
That's what I'm saying.
let's just move along now.
Is your head hurting?
That one's a little tough.
We should have warned y'all in the beginning of this episode. Your head might hurt a little bit, but that's really just what they were believing, though, that God was able to come from the heavens, come from somewhere on a UFO, and rally people up and to save them and protect them. And he believed that these people were hiding out somewhere in America, safe and sound. Kind of Off the grid or under the radar, pretty much. And this kind of makes me think of when, in terms of these people that were saved by God in a UFO, and thinking of them like hiding, you know, maybe in plain sight or under the radar, off the grid. It kind of makes me think of like the reptilian theory, which we will be getting into. Just wait on it.
I mean, look, guys, this show is getting real hot, and I don't know if you can stand the test of
after episode 50, y'all ain't ready. But what was I gonna say? It really makes me think of the reptilian theory and how these aliens and these, you know, quote unquote people that we believe to be reptilians,
right,
they're all public figures, or they're all well known and in the spotlight. Instead of the opposite, which is what you would think if they're, you know, if they're trying to be among us, you would think they would hide, but nah.
Y'all not prepared.
Hell no.
Y'all not ready.
Hell no.
But with that being said, we are gonna take a little bit of time to thank our sponsors.
Yes, and we will be right back.
See you soon, guys.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's free and it's easy to use.
There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast straight from your phone or computer, making it the best user experience around.
Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more, making it so you don't have to upload to each individual platform.
And the best thing about it, you can make money straight from your podcast with no minimum listenership.
It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place.
So please, download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. And that's anchor.fm, spelled ANCHOR.FM.
So what are you doing? Download the free Anchor app now.
And we're back, guys.
Like a butt crack. So yeah, the belief system for Chintao is pretty interesting. I mean, I'm not totally against it, but it's a lot to grasp and a lot to take in, and it really puts things into a different perspective,
which I fucking love.
Yeah. Oh, and if you guys haven't noticed, I tried a new makeup look today.
Doesn't she look great, guys? I always tell her before we start the show she looks like $1,000,000. She never believes me, so tell me what the fuck y'all think. You do.
Don't lie.
You always
say it.
I always ask her, and she goes, "Oh, no, I don't." And I'm like, "But you look great."
I'm not.
Yeah.
But it's inspired by, you know, just what we're talking about today. All this crazy stuff and out of this world thinking.
So to continue with the beliefs, Chen believed that the solar system was 4.5 trillion years old.
That's old as fuck.
Which, I mean, how the fuck can we argue with that?
Right. And I know earlier I said that if there's 5 tribulations and it started with the dinosaurs, that we're next. After, like, reading further, I feel like he believes that there were already 5. Like, we already went through the 5 tribulations.
Wow.
Maybe not. I don't know. I could be reading into it wrong. But that wasn't really clear if we've been through all the 5 tribulations yet, or if it was still to be continued.
That's interesting, though. That's hella interesting.
Yeah.
Chen believed the solar system was 4.5 trillion years old. And that's roughly 300 times the age that science says.
That's insane.
That is fucking crazy.
But if you think about it, we see this a lot with people assuming or coming up with calculations and theories that things related to science and space and just shit outside of our world is either older or bigger than what scientists believe.
Right.
But I also think that scientists kind of lowball things just to play it safe. Like, okay, yeah, sure, maybe there's 100 alien species out here, but let's just say there's 50 just in case we don't find them all.
Right. Kind of like a hypothetical deal.
Yeah, exactly. So this reminds me of the Stan Romanek story, where the calculations that this nigga did about how many, you know, smart civilizations or intelligent civilizations, or about how many intelligent civilizations there could be out there. His calculation was way more than what
Because he times it by 100, right?
Yeah, and it came out to be way more than what scientists think is out there. So it's interesting that he believed something very similar, is that the solar system is 300 times what scientists think.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you always hear that, the universe is constantly expanding, but to actually put a number on it, I don't know. It's interesting.
Right.
So instead of the Big Bang, Chen firmly believed that the solar system was created by a nuclear war.
Between who? Ain't no telling. Maybe God and the UFOs. I don't know.
Listen, bro.
let me chill. So, more on the cult itself. In 1997, after the cult moved to Garland, Texas, Chen predicted that at 12:01 a.m. on March 31st, 1998, this is very distinct, y'all, very particular, okay, very specific on the time, the date, everything. He was predicting that God would be seen on a single TV channel all across North America. Whether or not, if the person had cable TV, was irrelevant to God's appearance on the screen.
So he was just going to be on TV?
Yep, I don't know what he was supposed to be doing. I don't know if he was just supposed to sit there and look at us. I don't know if he was supposed to talk. I don't know.
Not gonna care. I don't even think, if that were to actually happen, we wouldn't even be able to, like, comprehend that or survive it, honestly.
Exactly. Yeah, that would be insane. But then again, how would we know? How would we know that it's him? Like, well, I'm sure everybody would think it's an infomercial or some shit.
We know?
You know?
Well, yeah.
Because if your screen just changed to a white man on there and he's just saying, I am God.
Whatever.
Yeah, and he's just saying, I am God. I mean, I would think it's an ad at first.
I would definitely think you joking, because my nigga, what are you talking about?
I'd be like, who hacked my TV?
Right, like... I was watching MASH, and here you go.
I'm over here on a streaming service.
Literally. It was reported that True Way moved to Garland, Texas, only because the name sounded like Godland.
Ain't that some shit? I have some questions about a lot of the beliefs and stuff in this cult.
Listen, bro, yes. Yeah, we're going to get into that shit later, but, yeah. Okay.
Godland. Garland.
I fuck with it.
If it work, it work.
It ain't
That's my motto.
If you love it, I like it.
Yeah.
If you like it, I love it.
Right. So the second fact about this cult is that at the time of the last move, which was to Texas, so they went from Taiwan to San Dimas, California to Garland, Texas, the cult had roughly 160 members and 40 of them were children.
Lord have mercy.
That's not, in my opinion, that's not a big cult.
It ain't. It's fairly small.
Yeah. In the grand scheme of things, if we're talking about all cults, that's not big.
Right.
But if we're just saying in general, like a cult to have 160 members, yeah, that is a lot of people. But compared to other cults, I feel like that's not really big. It's more of like a small scale cult. But 40 kids, that's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of kids.
Yeah. That's a good bit. Damn.
That means there's only 120 adults.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 119 because Chen. Oh, and Tao. 118. They don't count. They're the leaders.
Fair enough. Third fact. March 31st, 1998 rolled finally around and kept going. Which means there was no God on the TV. Ouch.
And this is where shit really falls apart because... I mean, this is what he was hyping like everybody up for. He was like, "Yeah, God finna be on TV.
Like this
gonna be that shit." Yeah, exactly.
Jeezy didn't show up to the show.
Literally, like Jakey promoters. Everybody was looking for Jeezy. Where's Jeezy at?
Not
in the back.
Show.
I swear to God, not at the show. So, yeah, that kind of just
killed it.
Was the start of the downfall. Pretty much, which, if you think about it, wasn't that long-lived. It was a very short-lived cult as well.
Which I feel like that happens more often than most people would think.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, it does happen a lot. You know, we do have a lot of cults that come and go. And,
right.
You know, it's ever-changing, but you do have those ones that are quote-unquote significant, you know, to the cult community, and people know them. They're well known, or, you know, they pose a threat, whatever the case may be. So the fourth fact is that when the day came for God's appearance, Chen announced that he obviously had misunderstood God's plans. And embarrassed, group members quietly returned to their homes. And not just like their homes at the cult grounds, like literally their homes.
They dipped.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, they was definitely talking shit.
Yo, hell yeah.
They was definitely talking
I would have
shit.
been. I'd have been like, bro, this nigga really had us out here waiting.
Wow.
Like,
so we've been following you all this time and you mean to tell me?
Right, man. I'd be so pissed. I'd be pissed.
Hey, man. Can't be misunderstanding when it come to God.
At all.
You gotta understand.
Talking about obviously.
Because they gonna question.
What you mean, obviously?
Because of his huge failure, Chen offered to be stoned or crucified for the lost, hope, and lie. However, nobody took him up on this offer. Shit.
Oof. I don't know what's worse. Like, what's more demeaning?
It really
the fact that he offered to, like, be killed by his members and then, like, nobody took him up on this offer? Which one's worse? Offering to be killed or nobody taking you up on the offer?
I feel like they're equally as bad.
Damn, that's embarrassing.
And I feel so bad right now because now that I'm thinking about it, just a guy from Taiwan, you know, learning about Christianity and reading those stories and, you know, probably taking them quite literal. So
yeah, probably.
The fact that he offered to be stoned or crucified is interesting.
Yeah. But also, I think he understood how embarrassing and how not even traumatized. Well, maybe it was traumatizing. Just how embarrassing and wasteful this whole ordeal was because these people uprooted their lives and moved to the States.
Right.
Just because they believed in you. So I can see the guilt. I can see why he felt like, okay, maybe the least I could do is offer them to take my life.
Right.
But nobody even cared enough to take him up on his offer. And I feel like that says a lot about his followers at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Once your followers or your cult members don't believe you anymore, that's it. You know, because they are the backbone. It's kind of like corporate job, well, not even just corporate jobs, but just jobs in general. And, you know, you have all these higher ups and all these people in the business itself that, you know, it's like, okay, we're the ones that are running the show, but we aren't because without y'all, it wouldn't be anything. Exactly. You know, it wouldn't be anything without the workers, the bottom of the barrel people. Exactly. So, yeah, it's crazy to think about.
It's super crazy because it's interesting to have a head of something, but once the body falls, then what do you got?
Exactly. And it's also insane how believing in something can create so much.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know, like our beliefs can take us so far.
An idea can turn into so many things.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, that makes me think of something else we should cover. So, time to get a little more culty. Shortly after the failed prophecies, the group began to fall apart. And, I mean, it just makes sense. I just don't have anything to say.
When one of your promises goes unfulfilled, like your followers, they look at you differently and they start talking amongst themselves and they're like, okay, so what's really going on?
Because then they're starting to question, okay, was any of this shit real? Like, damn, you know, we really got roped into this shit. So members began to distrust Chen after the TV scam, of course, but honestly, most of this guilt and most of the hatred or the embarrassment was targeted at Chen. It wasn't even thrown on the Tao. I don't think Tao really had a part in, you know, what Chen was saying about God coming on screen.
I think he was just like
a part of the group. Yeah, just a bystander. So some members returned to Taiwan for visa issues. When this happened, only 1/3 of the group was left.
Oof.
That's a big chunk. Damn. Gone. Over half. Gone. I mean, wow. I've never heard of a cult falling apart like this. Like, I mean, it's not funny, but it is.
He tried, but shit.
It's pretty funny, though.
Yeah.
Because nobody told you to start a cult anyway, you know? I feel like with cults, we could talk all the shit we want because...
Oh, we definitely can. I definitely will.
There ain't no reason for a cult.
Because why the fuck you did that shit?
Yeah. So when 2001 rolled around, Chen's Hao True Way cult was nearly unheard of. Over time, things just fizzled out. So, kind of a gradual...
decline.
Okay, it slowly started up. They had their
Peak
fun
time,
for a
they had
little
a
while.
peak,
and then it just started... Actually, it went...
Watch out!
Exactly. So Chen disappeared from the group, and there was no real order or purpose anymore because now, like, one half of your leaders are gone. Like,
crazy.
There was only two of them, and Chen was really like the root leader of this cult, and he just vanished.
And when there's only followers and no leader, you have nothing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the leader is quote unquote the glue, you know?
Exactly.
So yeah, once he disappeared from the group, it was kind of like, okay, let's wipe our hands off with this. Like,
right.
There's nothing left, literally. So furthermore, it is unknown if the cult exists today, and the whereabouts of Ming Chen are still unknown.
Damn.
So he literally
disappeared.
just vanished. And I think it was because he was so embarrassed. I mean,
yeah.
Shit, I'd be embarrassed too.
Yeah.
Like, that's really insane though, because it just fell apart. Like, it completely disbanded. And who knows? There could be possible members that are still, together. But honestly, I doubt it.
I highly doubt that.
The way this shit fell apart and how embarrassing it was.
Because just imagine, like...
What do you say?
Right. Like, how did... Like, say there are, like, 3 left, right? Just imagine them talking. And then somebody just bring this up. It's going to ruin everything.
Hell yeah. Wait, okay. Bring it what up?
Like the TV scam. Like, oh, yeah, it was cool, but, like, you remember that TV scam about how...
All right. Y'all some liars.
Right.
That's just crazy to me. It's kind of funny, because...
It is.
Because, like, what did he expect to happen? Like, I don't understand.
I mean, I guess I can...
How did he come up with this elaborate story? Like... Where did that come from? God coming down, 5 tribulations,
you could have just left that
UFO.
Could have just left it.
It's just a very odd mix, honestly. I don't know. I really just don't know how to feel about it. It's insane.
Super.
Like, one of the most weird cults I've heard of, I would say.
Yeah,
by far.
It's weird. Low-key, like,
what
super
was the point?
random.
It is. Yeah, it really was. And all the names, like, they really just had problems from the start. You couldn't even register your name properly. You had to register that bitch, like, 3 times. Y'all had to move 3 times.
Trying to get it right and you couldn't.
I just can't. I don't know. So, yeah, guys.
That was the true way.
Yes, the True Way cult. And, all of its glory.
And infamy. Jesus.
Exactly. But, that brings us into our wind down. And we have 5 today.
No foot long.
So this is going to be a nice little wind down session.
For sure.
Yes.
So, question number 1. Do you think this cult was as dangerous as others can be? Honestly, no. I feel like it was super harmless.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like every cult is dangerous to a certain extent. Because anything like that is just a recipe for disaster. Right. You have people literally giving their lives and, I don't know, just breaking their morals and literally remolding themselves into a cultivator to follow the beliefs of this one person for what reason? I don't know. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it can be dangerous, but I agree. I don't think this cult was nearly as detrimental to people's lives as other cults have been.
Halo didn't even get a chance.
Huh?
Didn't even get a chance. Because after that TV scam, they were through. They said, bro,
I swear to God. The TV done fucked them up.
I'm talking about they was probably tuned in. They done
everybody sitting in front of that bitch.
Alright, 12:01.
What time is it? 11:59. Yeah.
Sound like Y2K.
Crazy.
But that's a different story.
Ooh, we gotta talk about that too. We got so much shit. The second question is, what do you think was the main reason the group flopped in the end?
Oh, you want me to answer, bro?
Oh, I can. I think the main reason they flopped in the end was just, I don't know.
A lack of stability, in my opinion.
Yes, I think that definitely played a big part in it. But also, I almost feel like, did Chen really believe the things that he was telling these people? Because if he didn't believe it himself, how were they able to?
Exactly. And with that, I feel like, I don't think he was as fully invested as he wanted to be.
It seemed like he just didn't know really what he was doing.
Right.
But he was just like, I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to just see where we end up.
Shit, we here now.
Exactly.
In Godland, Texas.
Godland, Texas.
Crazy.
Oh, that's fucked up. Because if you say it real fast, it do sound like that. Where do you think Chen is now? Shit.
That's the real mystery.
Yeah, that's a real question.
Because he just disappeared
Yeah,
off the face of the earth. And, like, nobody knows where he is till this day. So, I feel like he probably went back to Taiwan and either changed his looks, changed his ways, changed his name, changed something to not really be recognized, because that's very embarrassing to go.
Oh, that's super, bro. That's super embarrassing.
Especially going to America. They're going to be like, you made it to America, like, why are you back? You know?
Terry.
Stop. But yeah, so I don't know where he could be. Maybe he got scooped up by God in a UFO too.
Who knows?
Maybe it happened after all this shit went down, and he was like, "Damn, I told these motherfuckers they should have listened."
Bro, I would have been mad to the bitch if that would have happened, bro.
I swear, I would have been like, "Bro, you was too late. Like,
so where was
they
you
don't
at,
believe
bro?
me no more."
God gonna laugh at his ass. All right, nigga, come on. We got somewhere to be. I got somebody to pick
zoom,
up.
zoom, nigga.
Right.
So the fourth question is, would you have joined a cult with these beliefs if given the opportunity?
So, like,
it's a very sensitive question, because
so, like,
am I wrong for saying I would join a cult with these types of
right,
beliefs?
because I'm saying, like, is he still the...
No, not
Without
by
leader,
him.
or
It's just a cult in general. With that shared these types of beliefs. So UFOs.
Oh, yeah. No, I definitely would have checked it out. Like, I would have gave it a shot.
I probably would have been interested in it, too.
gave it a shot. Like, you know, y'all got the flyer. I'll read it or whatever.
I'll read it or whatever. Hell yeah. Yeah, I would be like, UFOs? Oh, okay. I see what y'all about.
Y'all be seeing them and shit?
Right.
Bet.
I swear.
Cool. I'm down.
Let me find out.
Right.
I guess shit. I mean, I'd be with it, honestly. Not like full range. I would definitely.
Hell no.
If I was allowed, I would do my research. But I don't know, if you're proposed by like a group, are you allowed to do research before? Or is it kind of like we need an answer now?
Yeah. Like, by the end of the day, my nigga, we need to figure out what you want.
Right now, we need to know. Yes or no? Kind of like Squid Games. Like,
yeah.
He had to choose. Nigga,
right,
is you playing or is you going?
Big one, bro. Big one.
For real. So yeah, I would definitely, well, not definitely, but I would probably, if they believed in aliens and shit, yeah, I'd be like, well, what's the harm in this?
Because my whole thing is y'all really seeing them? And if so, I'm trying to see them. Like,
yeah. Hell yeah.
Because y'all obviously know something that I don't know. And I'm just a podcast,
and I'm trying to figure it out. Because I don't know shit.
Exactly. So, the fifth and final question. Does this remind you of any other cult? If so, how? Does it? Because I remember getting it confused with another one, but I can't even think of the name of that one right now.
This is nothing like I've ever heard.
Yeah, no. Now looking
this
at
shit
it,
is crazy.
Like now getting into it, it's super random, and I ain't never.
Yeah, random, weird, crazy. Like, pulled this shit from the ass crack of earth, because I've never heard of this before. Like, this is really insane, and it was so short lived, but like it happened, and they were here and doing their thing, and now they've left their mark, even though it wasn't on no crazy shit. You know, It doesn't always have to be crazy or massacres and shit going on. It don't always gotta end that way. Sometimes they just disband.
That's weird.
Huh?
Niggas, some people just be gluttons for that type of shit. I'm like, bro.
Yeah, But not every cult is built the same. So hopefully, you know, with our first one being Jim Jones and the People's Temple, I think this is way different. The cult is on a spectrum, okay?
For sure.
The world of occults is a very broad one, and
you never know where you'll end up.
Yeah, and there could be cults that believe in anything. It really doesn't matter. So the belief system for this cult is not super crazy or out there, but it is different.
But it's
I haven't heard anybody else believe in that.
Yeah, it's definitely a different one.
Yeah. So what do you think? Does it remind you of anything?
Honestly, nah. Now that I'm sitting here like thinking.
It's unique, right?
Yeah, it's pretty different.
Yeah, and the whole story too, how it started, how it ended, everything in between. There really wasn't a lot of information about the members themselves and kind of what they would do on a day-to-day basis, but I think that is widely because they just don't want no parts in it anymore. Like,
yeah.
I mean, why would you want to sit there and talk about it? It would be interesting though to like have a documentary made.
Oh, definitely, it would be super interesting
because not every cult succeeds, some fail, and this was definitely one of them. I don't know what succeeding means to a cult, but
yeah, I don't know how they measure their success, but
yeah, I don't know.
I know this ain't it.
Definitely ain't it. But it was still fun to kind of break this down and get culty with you guys. Talk about a cult classic. Yeah, this was really fun.
Oh yeah, it's always fun when we do episodes like this because I like learning new shit and coming across shit that I haven't even thought about for maybe a couple years or like a couple months or whatever. You know.
Well, you're the one that recommended this cult, and I had never heard of it before.
Yeah.
And when he did, because we have a list of episodes, we have like a lineup of over 100 episodes, and every episode that you guys have seen, we've literally been going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So every episode that you guys tune into is what's on our list. And so when we were making our list, you had mentioned this, and I was like, I don't know what this is, but it's a cult. So I'm excited. And after doing the research on this, like, wow, it was a really good recommendation because I would have never found this shit any other way. I've literally never heard anybody talk about it, never seen a documentary, a YouTube video, nothing.
And now you see why.
Yes. So you heard it here first on Deeper Than Most, unless you haven't. If you have heard about True Way Cult, let us know. Like,
what are your thoughts? Also, guys, what are some cults that you're into? Some cults that you've heard of? You know what I'm saying? Like, put us on or like let us know. Give us some information.
Yeah, let us know which ones you're interested in hearing us talk about. I'm trying to think. Or if you have any cult stories. Have you ever been
for sure. Have you been approached?
Yeah. By a cult?
And if so, how does that go down? Like, how do they approach
That'd be scary. I've never been propositioned by one.
I feel like
I'd be freaking out.
Ooh, I feel like the Mormons are closest thing.
Ooh, yeah. Either them or Jehovah's Witnesses.
Closest thing, too.
Ooh, which one's worse?
Ooh,
I say Jehovah's Witness.
Definitely Mormons. Have you heard about this shit? Bro, have you heard about...
No, the Jehovah's Witnesses be in your house, okay? They be
before
in
you
your
get out
shit.
of bed, you right, though. They do be in your shit.
They have a Bible in your lap. Here you go.
Have you heard about...
Fuck brushing your teeth. You want to read the word?
They be knocking hard. They be
hard as
beating on your
fuck.
shit.
It's like, we don't, we're not really trying to disrespect Jehovah's
Witnesses,
or Mormons, but
coming to my house.
Like, really, y'all be crazy.
Like, stop doing that. Do y'all get paid for that?
But the Amish, they cool.
You right. I feel like the Amish, they are cool.
They mind their business.
They mind their fucking business.
Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons don't. Okay?
I wonder, like, do y'all get, like, what do y'all get from that?
No
like,
incentive. They get God. That's what they get out of it.
Y'all be up early in the morning, like, with your little clothes, with your little uniform.
They be on a little time.
Yeah, the time.
And they be in pairs.
Yeah, scary shit.
Yeah.
Scary shit.
And it's always, like, 2 young boys.
It's never no older people. It's always
And I've never seen a girl. Like, it's always 2 young boys.
In my experience, they always been white, too. I've never seen nothing.
Yeah, what else would they be?
So here's a question for you that wasn't on the questions. Do you feel that this cult could have had a chance of being bigger or better if...
it was done right?
Yeah.
Yes. Just because... I don't know. I feel like there is a formula, and you just got to figure it out. And he probably just didn't know what he was doing and couldn't figure it out. And that's why he failed. Because you don't really hear a lot about these other cults claiming some big, huge event
Right.
That's supposed to happen across across the continent, literally. So, I don't know. I feel like it could have, but then again, at the same time, I feel like there's a reason why it didn't. Something just wasn't...
Click.
The puzzle wasn't fitting correctly.
It just wasn't clicking. And I feel like the biggest part that was missing was, like you said earlier, I don't think he believed enough.
I think it's what you said earlier. Lack of structure.
Lack of stability, yeah. Lack of stability, lack of confidence. You know, it's a lot of things.
The group had no structure, no form. Like,
right.
You know, they were kind of. It was like the blind leading the blind.
Yeah, and that's
the simplest way to put it.
For sure.
For sure. That was episode 46, you
46, guys. 46 goddamn episodes. Which
yes.
means
you said it at the beginning. We good.
gotta hit him with a double tap.
Go
You
ahead.
gotta know.
If you made it this far.
If you made it this far, you just finished episode 46, which means you have 45 other episodes to check out along with our bonus tracks. Check them out.
Yes. And with that being said, do you have any kind words?
Kind words. Hide your Christmas gifts, hide your Christmas ornaments, hide your decorations. All of it.
Yeah.
Just be merry, be happy, and have a great December. Yeah. Even though it's going to be super cold, just, you know.
Yeah, it's a cold winter this year, and winter ain't even started. But it's here, bitch. It's here, and it's
coming.
ready.
'Tis coming.
Yes. My kind words would be, don't stop believing.
Hey, all right.
Hold on to your dreams, yeah. Okay, anyways.
For sure.
So that's my kind words. And I've been your host, Sab.
And I've been your host, DJ.
And this has been another episode of Deeper Than Most. I was late.